Hey there, Regina Andler here, and it is time for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. This week, we're talking about ideal clients. And, here's the thing. How many times we're going to talk about ideal clients? But it's a really important topic. And not only is it an important topic, it's something that shifts over time. So you might have one ideal client today, and 6 months from now, a completely different ideal client. The thing is that since it's so evolving, it's something you need to look at and be on top of all the time. Why do we care? Well, first off, when we say, if you market to everyone, you market to no one, right? Well, this is so true because you need to narrow down. You need to know who that ideal client is. You need to market to the right person. Doesn't mean other people in that everyone list. It doesn't mean other people aren't going to say, hey, so what do? You do that? Can you do this too? They will. This is all about marketing to make sure that you're talking to the right person because, well, I don't know how many billion people are on this planet. When you are general with your marketing and your content, that's when nothing happens. And you sit there and you wonder why nobody's coming to you, why nobody's buying your products or services, why you can't get anybody to engage with your content. So I'm going to go through 3 signs that maybe you're marketing to the wrong people because you haven't really figured it out yet, or you thought you had it figured out. Maybe you did have it figured out, and maybe it shifted. So it could be that you were marketing to the right people, and all of a sudden it shifted, and now you need to change it up some. So here's the first thing, don't get stuck with this. The first sign that maybe you're not marketing to the right people is your content is getting crickets. Did you ever post something out there and you were like, nailed it. This was like such important information. Everyone needs to know about this. And I did it so well. It sounds so good. Maybe I used AI to create it, but it is definitely me in there and it sounds unique. It doesn't sound like everybody else. And it's really great content. And then nobody liked it. Nobody commented on it. Nobody shared it. You're like, what happened? The thing is, sometimes can it be the algorithm? Yeah, sure. The algorithm plays in there as to who's seeing what. But a lot of times it's not the algorithm. And it's not your content. Your content is great. It's who you're talking to. So the person who's reading it is like, oh yeah, that looks great, but it's not me. Well, you know what? They're not your client. You need to be marketing to the right people. That's why you need to know exactly who that person is, what their pain points are, what keeps them up at night. You need to know a lot about them, not just demographics, female, 45, empty nester or whatever. We don't need to know that stuff. I mean, yeah, that stuff's important too. If you want to market and you want to bring the right people to you, there's a lot more to it than that. And this is where people kind of drop the ball. They kind of go for those basic demographics and then forget all about the psychographics and the physiographics and everything else that are involved with your ideal client. And then they wonder why their content's getting crickets. So go back to the basics. Write down 3 things that your ideal client is struggling with right now. And for the next 5 posts that you do, speak directly to those 3 issues and help them solve that. And see if you start getting more engagement. Chances are pretty good, as long as you got the right people out there and it's in front of the right people, all of a sudden you're going to start getting more engagement because now you're talking their language. Remember, this is about them, not about you. So you want to be talking their language. The second tip, or the second thing that might be why you're not engaging, is maybe you're getting inquiries from people for you and your business, but they aren't a good fit. And you're like, oh yeah, this person is so not right for my program. Or yeah, they're saying they can't afford me. Or they're asking for something that is not quite what I offer. That's when you're getting those inquiries from the people who aren't really a good fit. Again, you're not talking to the right audience. So look at your bio, look at your website, look at your messaging, look at your posts. Is it crystal clear who you're talking to and what it is that you're helping them with? What problem? If it's not crystal clear and it's vague, yeah, people are going to come in from the woodwork going, oh, well, can you do this? And you're like, no. Can you do this? No. And you're wondering, why are you getting that idea? Why are you getting the idea that I might be able to help you with something that's completely outside of my box, outside of my realm of core genius? If that's happening to you, chances are pretty good it's your messaging is not right. Your messaging needs to be updated so that it is clear about who you are, what you do, who you serve, and exactly what problems you help them solve. So that's number 2. Number 3 is your content feels hard to write. Have you ever sat down in front of your computer and said, okay, I got to write some posts for this week, or write my blog or a LinkedIn article or whatever it is that you're putting together? And you're like, what am I going to write about? If you've ever done that before, stop and think. It's not about coming up with the content. It's about who you're talking to. Because when you sit down and you're staring at that blank screen, chances are pretty good it's because you don't know who you're writing it for. When you have that person sitting in front of you and you know what their problem is and you know that you can help them, what happens? You just go. You listen, you help, solve their problem, life is good. Same thing with content. If you're staring in front of a blank screen in front of you, ready to write content, think of that blank screen as that ideal client sitting in front of you. What would you tell that person in front of you? I actually had a tip from a long time ago from a colleague when I was doing video stuff for the first time way back when. I really wasn't a big fan of video. And he said, put a picture behind your video. So put a picture behind your computer screen that you're looking at and just pretend that you're talking to that person. When you know your ideal client, you can do that. Get a picture of someone who represents your ideal client and put it behind your screen. And when you're staring at that blank screen, look at that picture. Talk to them. What problems are you solving? What are you helping them do? It will help remove that block and make sure that you're talking to the right person. So spend 10 minutes this week building out a simple ideal client profile. Who is that person you help best? And then give them a name. My ideal client's name is Sarah. And my picture of her is a picture of the exact ideal client that I'm looking for. And when I think of writing content, that is exactly who I'm creating the content for. That is exactly who I'm speaking to. And I know who that person is, where they hang out, what they do, what keeps them up at night. And I'm able to effectively reach them, which increases my engagement, brings the right clients to me. And it basically helps me when I sit down to write that content because I know exactly who I'm talking to. So those are 3 signs that you might be marketing to the wrong people if those things are happening to you, and 3 simple fixes. So the question is, which one are you going to try today? Try one out. This Friday in the Friday freebies, I'm going to be dropping my ideal client avatar format on how you can actually work on making sure that you are speaking to exactly the right person for exactly what it is that you do and that perfect client that you're looking to find today. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time on Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Bye for now.